GM Farcaster. It is Friday, November 8th, and you are here with Nounish Prop and Adrian for 29 minutes-ish of Farcaster news to start your day. And I got to do a quick little retweet because we are live now. And if you are on Twitter, go give us a retweet there. That would be great. GM,
what's a retweet?
It's like a recast, but on Twitter.
And what's a Twitter?
I think some people call it X now.
Yeah.
I don't do that. Oh, Lord. How are you this morning, my friend? How's it going?
It's going good. It's Friday. We've got a long weekend. It's a 3-day weekend.
Oh,
we'll be working.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah. We don't here, but okay.
It's a U.S. public holiday.
Yeah.
On Monday. So 3-day weekend. I had a good day yesterday. I don't know if you saw, but I was coding.
I did. And we were going to talk about that. Let's jump right into that. So what were you coding, my friend?
So
this is exciting.
Yeah. So how long have we been talking? We've been making GM Farcaster content for over a year, and it just sits out there and we say, oh, there's such valuable content. Wouldn't it be good if we could actually access it? Because it's all in video form. And there has been talk about GM Farcaster being a nice little time capsule of Farcaster history. So I got to believe there's a way to throw a little LLM on here and train it and turn it into a bot that people can talk to. Seems easy.
I love it. Seems easy. How hard could it be? She's about to find out. So yeah, this was your cast yesterday. Cracks Knuckles, step 1, downloaded transcripts from all 400 plus videos in the GM Farcaster YouTube channel. I'm assuming that a lot of those are replays, right? Because I'm like, do we have 400 plus? Like, how did that happen?
Good question. How many episodes? We have under 200, I guess. So,
but we also have a lot of
replays.
other. We definitely have well over 200. We have definitely well over 200 because of like Farcon and ETH Denver and all those. But I think the replays must be in there too.
It must be. So maybe I can filter it just for. I don't know.
I guess it doesn't matter. It probably doesn't matter because they're just training on the same things anyway.
Yes.
So the idea is this will be like for Farcaster news, like you'll be able to search it, or what are you thinking here?
I would love. Yeah, I mean, just if you have questions about the history of Farcaster, I think it'd be really cool if you could. By the way, I have no idea what I'm doing. I am not a developer. I play one on TV. I don't even play one on TV.
But you used to be.
And it was but anyway, I'm gonna be playing, and what I like is we talked about in our culture episode on GM Farcaster or Farcaster 101, we talked about building in public. One of the benefits of building in public is people offer help. Like you can ask for help from people. So I have several people who've offered help, and I will be be taking people up on that. Thank you. I appreciate your support.
Yeah, they believe in you. So it's gonna be interesting. Can't wait to see it. Can't wait to see it come out. In some other news, new pinned casts on profiles. To pin a cast, I haven't pinned anything yet. I keep forgetting about this. To pin a cast, go to your profile and pin from there, one cast at a time. Warp cast only for now. If it gets enough usage, we'll add API to protocol. Live on web and mobile, update to the latest mobile app. So if you don't have auto updates on, like me, I do not, make sure you go and update that's probably why I haven't noticed it. I haven't updated my app yet. I did the restart, but I didn't do the update. So I got to go do the update. But this is pretty cool. We've been asking for this for a while. So this is great. Good to see. I use pinning all the time in the channels, and I do like the announcement feature. I do find it quite helpful. Okay, we're going to have this kind of a day, are we? Okay, great. Okay, great. It's going to be a good one. I'm going to get rid of this because maybe this will help. Here we go. And then this was, I forgot, this is supposed to be at the end. This is where their election stuff, I forgot, but I thought it was funny. Underrated news from last night, Sherrod Brown Elizabeth Warren Light lost the Senate race. We'll likely see Fit 21 or something similar pass either in lame duck session or in the new Congress. Great. Can we have a Farcaster token now? So just a reminder. There's no token. So there's a few other things in here that'll come out to play in a minute. So what would the token do? Exactly what Adrian said in the reply.
King is hilarious.
So funny. So funny. Yeah.
Anyway.
So anyway, that was.
I casted
amusing.
that as well.
Yeah.
In my response, I said, "What would a token do?"
Yeah, I remember. I remember seeing that. That was your exact response. Okay, so let's get into the bigger news, Farcaster news stuff. And okay, so MWMW came back to Farcaster. To the WoW channel. Owned this channel for many months. Just got yoinked. LMFAO. Okay, so reminder. Channels are not decentralized.
You don't own them. You don't own channels. That's at the end of the day. And we've talked about this recently, but it's nice to see it keep coming up every time someone gets their channel taken away. Which is people have squatted when channels came out and you could buy them. People did go out and buy up a bunch that were obviously squatting. And we've seen this with DNS names. We've seen it with ENS names. People buy things. They're speculating that there will be value that someone will want to pay them for them at some point. I kind of can't even remember what were the names of the last channels that were taken away.
Like Starbucks and
yeah, but I was just like, what was even the last controversy? See, this is why I need a bot.
Yeah.
Like, don't make me remember what we talked about. But a few weeks ago or months ago, there was another example of someone losing their channel name.
But the same person, I remember specifically that person also owned like Starbucks. Like they owned all the brand names too. And I don't remember what the reason was that something got yanked, but yeah. Or yoinked, if you will.
Oh, it was a city. I think it was a city name. It might have been
maybe.
I think it was a city name last time, but either way, that's right. If it's kind of like you can.
Oh, it was Pudgy Penguins too. Pudgy Penguins that happened at one point too. Yeah.
But there's signs that you can tell. So we've talked about like I might buy a channel and not use it.
Yeah.
How do you tell if I'm squatting? Well, what is the name? Is it like a name that someone else is that has some sort of trademark or that someone else might appear valuable? And did I also buy 30 other ones that are also other names, right? Like, so that was my question about this one. Like, WoW to me is it's not an immediate brand name. It's not Starbucks. It's not
I know.
MetaMask.
So this is why this one's a little different. This feels a little different. So it definitely got a lot of attention. And it just felt different. It felt like, I think I have to like get rid of some of these things so that this will load faster.
Well, should we talk about what WoW is and why it got taken away?
We're gonna
that's why it also felt different.
That's exactly why it felt different. So I think this sums it up, and this is the image on our cover today. Is this sufficiently decentralized? Zora wants their channel, which has now become a token on WoW. So, new thing launched, and it was actually a while ago that this particular account started posting, about a month ago. And then just a couple days ago, WoW launched. So WoW is a token launching platform that is connected with Zora through their NFT tokenization into ERC20 type of mechanic with Uniswap. So this finally launched. It's also connected with Enjoy, I think. Like it's that team, I think, related to it. So that was sort of the pushback on this, was that, oh, Zora comes in and says they want they want WoW, and therefore they get it. So this does feel a little different. By the way, I am wearing my Enjoy shirt. It does feel a little different to me. It's not like an obvious brand name. So I don't know. What do you? But it doesn't really matter because the same, terms of
Right.
service
Listen,
still apply.
anytime you have a like people against the corporation, the
Yeah,
people will be more sympathetic to the people, right? The everyday, that's who you
yeah,
can relate to. Um, I obviously don't have input. I understand, listen to Dan's point of this is an account that hasn't been active on
right.
Farcaster. Farcaster is not a cooked deal. It's not at maturity. It's not a platform that's fully decentralized. Like it is being built. I think there's a little bit of that sense of like the people who are here casting every day are part of the ones building it. You're in it. It's changing all the time. So to buy channels early on when they launch and then expect to expect that you own it is just a missed expectation, I think. So I think at appearance it looks scandalous, like, oh, Dan stole a channel. But when
Yeah,
you actually dig in, it's like, look, we're still figuring out channels. They're not part of the protocol.
protocol.
They're not decentralized. We've been saying this forever. We don't squat channels. If someone had bought this channel and built it into a community, like,
Yeah,
the day that
it'd be
Dan
different.
takes a channel from someone who's using it,
Yeah,
there will be riots in the streets,
yeah, I think so.
I will be leading them. But
Yeah, yeah.
until then,
And
um,
and so that is, yeah. So we've got just a reminder, channels are not canonical topics and channels haven't been decentralized yet. I just think it's funny how often this comes up. So I dropped this. So Jeff Goldberg had casted about this with the image that I showed before. I can't seem to pull it back up, but it was, and then this was my reply to him. Come on, you've been here long enough, So it was, so that was pretty funny. Like that, yeah, we're still, even though we say it all the time, it still hits differently when it actually happens.
yeah,
Builders today are better
Or-
than yesterday's squatters. Okay. Yeah.
and that's related to
Yeah.
links is
Yeah.
Farcaster requires proof of work, right? So if
Yeah.
the channel was a community, would Dan have taken it? There's no way.
Probably not.
Even this actually, and I don't know if you pulled this cast, but six
Yeah.
owns the Taco Bell channel.
Yeah.
Clearly a brand name.
Yeah.
However, I accuse Six of being a squatter, but I don't think Six created that channel to be a squatter. There's a Diet Coke channel as well, right? He created Taco Bell, I think, for
I think it was a fan channel. It's a fan channel.
yeah, it's people who
Yeah.
love Taco
Just like
Bell.
Diet Coke. Yeah. It was just about Taco Bell.
And Six is
But
here casting every day.
I love this. Top is when Dan takes away Taco Bell from me to give it to the actual company. But also, wouldn't that be a great problem to have?
Yeah.
That would be a great problem to have. The Taco Bell is actually here and wants their channel. And you know who would be so happy as well? Cassie.
Does
Cassie
Cassie
would
love
love
Taco
to.
Bell?
She loves Taco Bell and she would love to welcome them here, I'm sure. Yeah, so I think it's, just a reminder that all the things that, yeah, here's also the username policy. Pragmatism versus ideology applies to F names and channel names. F names are centralized for now, but we offer are centralized for now. In other words, they only exist on Warpcast, but we offer ENS for decentralized usernames. So if you use your ENS, then it's decentralized and can't be taken away from you. Plan is to decentralize channels in the coming months. So I don't know if that changes things at all. I would assume it does.
When I would imagine when things are decentralized, that means you don't have any one person who can arbiter and take
Right.
channels away,
Yeah.
right? So then it's more you do own it then when
Yeah.
it's decentralized. I do think we don't talk enough about the fact that you don't own your username.
Yeah. That's true.
because it doesn't come up because people
Yeah.
didn't go squat a bunch of usernames and
Because
Dan's
it
not right.
costs a little bit. Well, channels cost
No,
money too.
channels cost more
Things
money.
cost more, so that's not a good reason. Yeah, it is. Well, it's difficult. It's easier now to log into more than one account, but
That's why.
it's not frictionless.
Mhm.
So that is why. Yeah.
By the way, and that's a great example of kind of deterrence, which is money's not a deterrent. Like people will pay money, people will not pay with time. Like if you add friction to the process, then we're not going to create,
Yep.
we're not going to squat usernames. But also, yeah, I think if Dan started rugging people's usernames, we'd talk about it more. But you own your FID, you own your account.
Yep.
You don't own your username.
Yep.
I guess.
Exactly. And then in related news.
By the way, this is a good
yes,
point in terms of like channel, like, so there's a
Yeah.
Costco channel and
That's
that is a
true.
real community. So
Yeah.
what happens? And this is why like things are really nuanced. So if you're here all the time, you totally understand Dan's point of like when, like, how do you know the difference between a squatter or not? But if you're not and you come in, it's easy to make things sound way more scandalous than they are. And so
like Taco Bell, I'm prepared to be canceled by Mexico.
I
That's just funny. Lowest grade meat fit for human consumption, but I love it. That's hilarious. And there's a lot of, I was just gonna put that up. Meta David too. You guys are a bunch of okay. All right. Cassie has a lot of friends in the Taco Bell channel. There you go. Make it active.
Channel.
You better make Taco Bell channel active, or there'll be no token when they arrive.
That's right. And we're going to start seeing accounts called, official Costco, the real Taco Bell.
The real. That's exactly what's going to happen. Okay. In other news, so back to WoW and what exactly launched from Zora, maybe because it's not official, was funny. So on the WoW platform, somebody launched Zora wants their channel back as a token with the cast. So that was really funny. So a lot of people this is a very similar to like Pump.Fun. So for those who have been kind of not jumping into that because they're not in Solana and they just didn't, get into that particular casino, this is a very similar type of platform. So that's what we're seeing sort of pop off right now. And there's been a few different tokens that you may see on your timeline. DYOR, NFA, all of this is incredibly risky. And if you haven't played around with meme coins and you don't know what you're doing, chances are you're going to lose money. By the way, even if you do play around with meme coins all the time, chances are you're going to lose money. Hi. So it's very difficult to make it out alive. So there is one particular token.
It's a casino.
Yeah, it's a casino. It's a casino. You will lose money. The house always wins. Where there's smoke, there's fire. This was from Chris Corella, who was commissioned by Smokeholders to make this piece. So there you go. And then he's gonna airdrop this to the holders. So there's lots of little, things popping up. If you're seeing this on your timeline, you're seeing all these different tokens popping up. That's probably where they're happening. But also, again, be very careful. Oh, go ahead.
Where there's smoke, there's fire, and where there's fire, there's ruin. So, and ash, and that will be you. Okay. Bringing my full-on skepticism, like have fun in the casino.
100%. Like nobody's getting generational wealth out of this. Let's be very clear. So be very careful on all these tokens.
Listen, every now and then someone wins the lottery.
Yeah, exactly.
And guess what?
Exactly.
Then you know what happens to lottery winners.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So this is from Mark Fishman. So we're just building computers that build casinos, huh? It's like, no, we're building something real. No, I know you are. July said, no, we're building something real. No, I know you are. It's true. He is actually building something real. And this was from Light. Casino is how the next gen gets wealthy and builds better stuff. Ideally real.
No.
And then
No.
they got into a
No.
discussion. But
No, it doesn't.
yeah, I don't
Here's
think
the
so.
thing though, like
Yeah.
there's always the like, oh, there's some really cool people playing with primitives and pushing the
Absolutely.
boundaries. That is the next big thing,
And
and
it
that's
has
really
value.
cool.
It has value
Yes.
in that regard. Yes.
Tinker, play
Yes.
around. That's great.
Yes.
But don't confuse that for the fucking casino. And excuse me,
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
because they're different. And I forget where it was. I was listening to something recently. It was just like talking about some podcast. Now I'm gonna have to pull it up. But it was like someone just talking about like what has always been true for humanity since the beginning of time. And one was like humans like to gamble.
Yeah. I
Just
think it was like they were
that's
probably doing it with rocks, like, you know,
yeah.
before there were dice. They
Um,
were flipping a
so
stone, which side is it going to land on?
So every time something new comes out, like it's like I just reject the idea that people trying to turn the casino into something serious because
Yeah.
it's
There is
not.
nothing wrong with a casino as long as you're careful and don't lose everything in it. It's
Yeah.
entertainment. And
Entertainment.
treat it as
Have fun.
such. Treat it as such. Yeah.
And
Exactly.
also separate from that, there's also kind of cool things to be playing around that can be built into something, you know, like things can come out of it like a fun little gambly way that can turn into something. But I just have a problem with celebrating the casino.
Occasionally the casino leads to Ethereum. You know what I mean? Like ETH actually being launched and things like that. Like you could have said the same thing when ETH launched, if you didn't know
But
at
it's
that
not the
time.
casino. The casino doesn't turn into ETH.
No. But I mean, what I'm saying is occasionally there are different tokens that have more value in the longer term, even if they don't have value in the short term. Like even if you can't flip it for a ton of money. And Bitcoin, there you go. Just go buy some Bitcoin, hold it and chill. It'll be fine. But but also, you know, the casino's fun. The casino's kind of fun right now. I gotta say, you laughing at
Happy
our chat.
Friday. Yes, I'm laughing at our
They're
chat.
hilarious.
You guys
They're
are hilarious.
They're on fire right now. It's so fun.
And actually, it'd be really fun if we were all in a casino together.
Oh,
like,
totally. Farcon Vegas. Let's do it. Let's do it. Love Vegas.
Okay.
I love Vegas. This from Linda. So this she's doing an experiment to expand Bountycaster to Twitter. And she asked on Warpcast for some folks who'd be willing to post a bounty on Twitter. So I did. So this from Linda over on Twitter. New Twitter X bounty up on Bountycaster. Earn $10 USDC for learning about Farcaster from GM Farcaster by watching and giving feedback on their Farcaster 101 videos. So you can watch any of those videos, and this is open to anybody watching this right now. Pick one, watch it, give us some feedback or question. I'll take like a good solid question. And the first 5 that kind of meet that criteria in the bounty will earn $10 USDC. And also, if you are on Warcast, I will also tip you some DGen. So there you go. So this is fun. It's fun to see her branching out, and I'm excited to see this be part of this experiment. This from Yasik. Okay, so the other big thing happening yesterday. There are many big things happening yesterday, but I'm talking about in the Farcaster universe. I frustrated
this is one of
migration.
9. This is a thread.
This is a lot. We're not going to read this whole
had
thing.
Something to say.
He had a lot to say. There's also a paragraph post, so you can read it that way as well. And the post is titled "A Frustrated Migration." So I'm just going to read this first one. GM Degens, after careful consideration, because it affects you most of all, we've decided to share with the community the difficulties we've been facing in migrating Degen L3 to a new service provider, which has delayed some exciting features. And this goes on to kind of explain everything that happened with Conduit. They are pushing back a little bit on some of these facts and have a little different perspective. So anyway, this, if you remember, there were some issues a while back. I think it was back in August over the summer with the Degen L3. Ever since then, they haven't gotten everything fixed, and there's an explanation of the reasons here. So hopefully this will help them solve that little problem they're having. And hopefully Conduit does what they need to do and they can get this figured out. But I was feeling bad for Yasik. He seemed very, very frustrated about this. Also, we did launch the episode of The Hub. The second episode was on Tuesday. We live streamed it and the recording is out now. So anywhere you get GM Farcaster, you'll find it there. It also has its own playlist on Spotify if you want to just follow that one. And this is our new developer podcast. So GM Farcaster, but for devs. I love that. I love the meme. Check out the latest Farcaster Developer Pod, The Hub episode 2, hosted by Dillstack with guest host Kevin O'Connell, is out now. So go check that out. I was sitting in the production studio while they were doing their thing, and it was a really good show. And I love what Dylan's doing. He's a great host. So he's got a natural ability. Yeah. So that's good. It's great.
He's like you.
Just well, I don't know if he's that good.
Very comfortable pulling those links and yapping and
yeah, he did great. He did great. He's got a great perspective. I mean, he's like, they're like pulling up code like during the show and stuff. It's pretty fun. So if you're a dev, that's going to be a great show for you to check out.
So I listened to it yesterday because I was unavailable on Tuesday. At the time he was podcasting because I had parent teacher conferences. Anyway, one of the things he said, which I just absolutely loved, is he talked about how like in crypto, he's like, when you meet people who've been around for a long time, like, oh, you've been in crypto for this long. He's like, you just know they're good. And it's like a signal of like, oh, and when he means good, it's like you're aligned on values, like crypto values. And that really stuck with me because I know what he means by that. I feel the same way.
Yeah.
And it's so different than the perception of what people who are not in crypto think of crypto.
Oh, totally. Totally. And I'm hoping, that one good thing we get from this week is that a change in that perception. Let's hope.
Okay.
Let's hope.
Naomi, it does not apply to some of the local Bitcoiners. Okay.
Yeah.
So
so that's different.
Bitcoin culture can be a little different.
It's a little different.
I also love Bitcoin, but
I love Bitcoin. I love to hold Bitcoin. I love watching it go up.
But you don't have to say anymore, Naomi. I know what you mean.
We understand. All righty. A few more things to chat about. This from the base team. They are now in India and having a blast and casting all kinds of fun things. And this I did not see. I don't know if this has made its way into Warpcast, but I found this on Twitter. And as soon as I saw it, like even without zooming in, I was like, oh, this has to be FBI. And it is. So Jesse Pollock in a custom Kalos FBI Kurta. So look at that. That is really impressive. So great job, FBI. And if you don't know, that's the Farcaster Builders of India. Is that exactly what it is? Something like that. Yeah. So very, very cool to see this all happening. This is from
Prof and I come to India. Do we get outfits? I just want to know.
I don't know. Let's ask. I mean, that might be a good incentive. Those are really. That was really cool.
Can you tell what I'm wearing today? Lovely. Is the lighting good enough? Can you tell the color of my shirt?
It's purple.
It's purple. That's it. It's just Farcaster purple.
It
was intentional. Yeah, that's it. Okay. When I choose my outfit for the show.
Same. I chose this because this has the wow symbol on it. So this is my Enjoy shirt from Farcon, actually.
When the vibes get weird, I just lean further into Farcaster. So
there you go. I think it's a good idea. It seems like a good idea. This is from Octant. It's no secret we love funding good projects and builders. So ICYMI, we've opened our community fund to applications. This is not Epoch funding. This is Octant growth funding. Basically, we're looking for GLM locking initiatives that either or grow GLM locking in Octant, boost Epic epoch participation and governance engagement. 2, marketing to up the visibility and awareness for Octant, mobilize your existing audience, create good content that grabs attention. And 3, public goods collaboration. We're looking for one big community partner for this round. So very cool. If you want to learn more, check this out. Applications are open through November 22nd. And there's a lot more info in this cast that will be in our show notes. Very cool to see. This from Woj. Why did I not log out? HG2 Warpcast team for enabling this type of community building. Of course, may not work for everyone, but for Supercast members, I can now offer a slow and publicly readable space channel, a fast and private space, Warpcast chat, all integrated into simple clicks. No need for weird links that can get leaked. Strict improvement over Discord or Telegram. So this was related to new on Supercast community page. So it's a Supercast group chat started getting rated recently. So I took a moment to start building something I wanted for a long time. A one-stop place to learn about and onboard to Supercast community. So from the community page, you can now join our Warpcast group chat and Supercast. So just a different way to approach creating communities or channels, if you will, but with a little bit more functionality. So very cool. I have to get back on Supercast. I haven't been on in a while. I need to go request my AI pet. I haven't requested my AI pet yet. This was hilarious from Bold Leonidas. Oh, I think I already had it open. So funny. His cartoons are hilarious. And this was one from post-election. You de-risked going into the election, didn't you? I ran 80,000 simulations. How did this happen? And I love it because as the charts have been just up, up only since Tuesday. And there was a lot, but it did take a little downturn before that. And then a lot of people were like running for the hills just in case. So there you go. Pretty funny. And this from K-Mac. Oh, the loading today. How different age groups engage with content seems about right. So obviously younger, what they engage with versus older, what they engage with. And you can see like the various differences in generations. And I think we're going to just see this even more so. Just the split getting even more dramatic. Like I'm pretty sure like I don't really know. Does Gen Z even like get email newsletters? Like, is that something they would even do? Like, I know it's very low on this list, but I'm just curious. Like, if you're a Gen Zer, do you get any newsletters? I'm curious. You have a regular go-to?
I don't know. Are you Gen Z watching our show? Let us know. But
yeah, there's probably no one. Actually, I think there's a couple, but yeah, let us know. We're curious. This from Afro Chicks. I loved this post from Naomi. Y'all mind if I get vulnerable for a second? Okay, so I got dropped by my commercial agent last week. This is partly because of this year's injury and not being able to compete as much as I'd like. So I get it. And also partly because I don't really post on Insta anymore, which this part's interesting. It's funny because I try to explain what I'm building on chain, but they didn't get it and didn't really listen. I don't know. Part of me is sad because I don't love being dropped, rejected, and feeling like I'm not good enough. But part of me is happy because I already know that I am not the conventional athlete. Really think that what I'm building here is special and will be recognized in the future, even if it isn't super meaningful in the mainstream right now. There are so many more possibilities on chain, and I would rather be supported by people who actually believe in my potential on and off the track. Anyway, glad that's off my chest. We'll probably delete later, and I'm glad she didn't delete it. Like I really should have grabbed.
So we can talk about it.
So we can talk about it. But if you haven't been following Naomi, first of all, what is wrong with you? Please do so. So follow Afro Chicks, but also she is casting and putting on chain her journey back to the Olympics. That's her goal, is to make the Olympics. She's a world champion track and field athlete and in triple jump, and has been world I don't know if she's been world champion, but she's been the champion in Britain for quite a few years. Had some injuries and didn't make the Olympics this past time, but is putting all of this on chain as she trains for the next Olympics. And it's interesting that sort of her doing that has now pulled her from the traditional Web 2 stuff. So also another point on this, go support her, mint her stuff. Like,
Yeah.
go do that because she's just really cool. And it's great that she's building, trying to do something a little different and be part of on-chain media. So yeah, very cool. So go follow her. She's amazing.
And
Yeah.
by the way, totally, like, for her writing it, when you like, it sucks rejection always sucks, right?
Always.
Like, yeah, does it though? I guess at some point you can get to the point, I think, if you keep, it's like, you can learn how to let it not suck as much over time.
Well, I think this is how you do that, right?
Mhm.
You put it out there, you share that, and then you keep building what your conviction is. You just keep going with that and know that it's going to suck short term. Short term
Yeah,
suck.
it sucks less, and you realize, like, it doesn't matter. I'm not surprised, like, oh, a traditional commercial agent doesn't understand what you're building. No shit. Like, of course they don't. It also means when you're connecting direct to an audience and, like, there's no room for them. Like, what's their role in this new space? They don't have one. I think it's interesting because she could easily post in multiple places, as a lot of people do, but she's jumped into Warpcast and Farcaster and, like, not posting on Insta. She could post on both places. And I think there's so many cases of that where it's like your energy just isn't there. It's like you just don't want to, and you get a lot of good energy from posting on Farcaster. So I agree with you. It's like, if you see this and you believe in that future, it's like, why we've had this conversation time and time again, but like, why do people mint things? Why do you put things on chain? And it's a way to support people. And I think it's
worthy.
it.
It's a worthy cause. Yeah. Keep building, Naomi. We're with you. This from Yes to Crypto. This is just funny. By the way, shout out to Yes to Crypto for diving into launching a token via the rounds frame. So good. He's been experimenting and figuring things out and sharing that publicly. And I appreciate that learning that he's allowing me to do from doing the deal. But this was hilarious. They found me. Interface, his notifications interface 6969 is now following you. Ring, there's a person at your front door. Like, it just is so funny. Like,
I didn't even pick up on the wallet address being 6969.
And then there's a person at your front door. That's why it's in 69ism. It's funny. That's hilarious. Okay. One last topic. Take a deep breath. Start with this. Remember polls? It's from Polymarket.
Yeah.
Remember polls? I'm like, really? It's like 48 hours ago. That's so last week. Like, I can't even. So very funny. Polymarket interns back.
Really enjoying their victory lap.
Yeah, I don't blame them.
Oh my goodness. Wait, did TLDR just post a pole dancer?
Yes. But not the kind you think.
What am I looking at?
It's like very acrobatic. Yeah. Okay. Not the usual kind. Somebody typed in rest in polls too, which is funny. This from Corbin reposting Paul Graham from Twitter. Their biggest mistake was antagonizing the entire crypto community, and this was entirely unnecessary. There wasn't some other constituency they were trying to win points with by doing it. And we talked about this the other day as well, a little bit, when we were talking about the results where crypto was the largest industry donor by far in this election. And it was not all like one party or another. If you look at everything that was supported, it was, are you pro crypto or anti crypto? If you're anti crypto, we're not going to be supporting you. So it was really about that one issue. and they lobbied very, very well. And it was a huge mistake that was totally, unnecessary because there was a million ways to
Completely
fix it. Yeah.
Yes, it was
Yeah.
completely unforced error because if you come
Yeah.
out as anti-crypto, you're not driving one single person to the ball for you.
No,
No
nobody
one's
cares.
no
Nobody
one
cares.
no one.
They don't care. It
So
was
the
just
only thing
unnecessary.
you're
All you had
doing
to,
is
yeah.
you will get
Yeah.
people very much against you. So I don't understand
Yeah.
the
And it was funny because even like, Mark Cuban was out there doing the work. Like,
Yeah, he
he was
was.
talking like he was inside talking to that campaign, trying to get them to just like make a couple statements to say that you won't kill them anymore. Like, fire Gary Gensler now. That'll go a long way.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Things like that. Oh well. But yeah, I think
Well,
that
I'm
I
just
thought it was
excited we don't have
interesting. I thought it was
Yeah. I
interesting coming
mean,
from Paul Graham that he was the one making that comment was surprising. So,
yeah.
what were you going to say? Sorry, I cut you off.
Oh, I'm just excited we don't have to pay taxes on degen tips anymore.
Apparently
Because
not. I don't know.
no more tax on tips.
No,
I'm psyched.
nice. I see what you did there. I thought you meant at one point he said there's going to be no tax on crypto, which
No, there's no tax on tips.
I
So
know. I know.
I'm
That's
very
funny.
happy about that.
That's really funny. Okay. All right. Lots of things.
Being
And if you hurry up and have
most
a
of my
fourth,
wages come in tips. So
if you go have a fourth child really quick,
can we not?
you might won't even. This is how I eat my papaya from now on with seeds. Adam Hurwitz pilled me. So we have just in case you needed a new fruit meta, here it is. And it's Adrian's background today. So are you eating papayas with the seeds?
I have not yet. But if we're eating orange peels and kiwi skin, I feel like we should start eating papaya seeds.
Okay. By the way, I broke up the election discussion with a papaya. I have these in the wrong order.
We've got some more election stuff.
Yeah, I'm going backwards. Just a few things. This was from Love, and I loved it. The election results have only emboldened my mission to teach every single woman in the world how to secure financial autonomy through SheFi. Our current systems may try to strip away women's other rights, but you can still have financial autonomy with crypto. No one can take your crypto from you. I repeat, no one. If you are a woman, there is not a better time to become self-sovereign. Take control where you can. So there's a lot of angst post-election. And if you haven't been on other platforms, I recommend go checking them out for like a minute, and then you'll see the difference with the way Farcaster is reacting. There's a lot more angst on our own timeline than there has been before. There's a lot more political discussion than there ever has before. But comparatively, there's still this seems like more respectful
Good
discussion
faith.
overall. Good faith.
Yeah. Good
for
faith
the most
discussion.
part. For the most part. There's a few trolly type of things happening, but for the most part, quite good. So that, that type of message is really for those who are feeling very overwhelmed by the election this week. So, and yeah, SheFi does an amazing job. Don't go for too long to the other platforms. Yeah, I said just quickly and then come back. But also you don't even have to do that. So I've done that for you. I can tell you it's definitely a mess out there. And it really doesn't matter which one. Pick your platform. It's a shit show. It doesn't matter which one. It doesn't matter which
It's a
side.
shit show with like little gems inside.
Little gems.
You can find them. You just have to do the work.
Yeah, you just have to look. Yep. So I don't even know how much I want to. I'm looking at the other links we have, and I'm like, I don't even know if I want to dive into it. What do you think?
I could go either way.
Okay. There's been some casts from.
What do people want? Do people want? Do you guys want to go into?
There's been some casts from Super Anon that have been interesting, right? Because people feeling a little more emboldened. So I think I'll point it out, and then I'll just let other folks go take a look if they want. Because
More fruit content. Yeah, like
more fruit content might be
sorry, we're
the
gonna give
way.
you.
Might be the way. I might just go back to
I think we can touch upon the super
might go
anon
back to
because I think
maybe we'll just go back to this. I don't know. Might be worth it. But I am gonna go to this really quick. This was on Super Anon. Okay. Casting Anon, because truthfully, I'm afraid to cast this not Anon. Women of Farcaster. That's like all of us. Okay. What existing rights is the newly elected president taking away from you? 1, 2. Why is it assumed people who vote for Trump women or condone SA sexual assault? Is it okay to be a single issue voter on non-policy related like SA, which majority of us condone, I think, but not condone, but not okay for people to be single issue voters on crypto? 3, if you immediately call someone racist, sexist, homophobic, dumb, etc. for their vote without asking why, how do you expect them to react? Do ad hominem attacks create space for mutual understanding required to move society forward? By the way, I haven't seen any of that outright? I
no,
haven't.
there is. I
Okay.
have.
I may have missed
And
it. I may have missed it.
yeah. And by the way, I couldn't agree more with point number 3. And the entire like we had an election and more people voted for Trump. More people voted for Trump. More people voted Republican than 4 years ago. Everything went more that way, right? Like so.
Here were my
It's
answers.
like,
There was a lot of them.
we've got
Very
Oh,
long.
did you?
Yeah, I did.
I weighed in as well. So it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, I think always, and I casted a little poem a few days ago, similarly, which is like, just you got to really ask people questions. Like I think coming out accusing someone of being racist is not a way to get them to open up.
Yeah, that never usually doesn't work. And I think there's also a lot of nuance. A lot of nuance in the voting. Clearly, the other side didn't do what they needed to do to attract enough voters, period. So you can't like just point fingers at folks who may have voted for Trump for many reasons. Many, many reasons. So to answer like the first question, and I am taking this as good faith. That these questions were asked in good faith. Other folks had other opinions.
I think they were asked in good faith. By the way, before we actually answer the first question, which I know we have lots of thoughts on, just even the premise, which is I'm using Super Anon because I don't want to post that. So one, I actually think it worked because yes, there were some attacks, but they got a lot of good faith responses back. Because it's not a personal thing. It's like, let's just talk about the content. But on the flip side too, so I think anonymity is good, but on the flip side too, in a cozy corner, right? When you're with a high trust group of people who care about truth and who can't get offended by words and want to actually debate topics, you shouldn't need that. Like you should really be able to not need to post something anonymously.
Right. That would be ideal. Like I would love a world where that was unnecessary. Because
you don't even need a world, right? Just a cozy corner.
Just us. Yeah. Like
just like
our world.
You need places. My world.
Yeah.
I don't care about the rest of the world.
Right here. I don't care about the rest of the world. But yeah, that's true. Because and also if you come from a place of I am taking this in good faith, and also if you write it in a way that isn't attacking and offensive, and I felt like this was fine in that way. You know, some people took it a little that they felt like there might have been some snark in there and there might have been some bad faith, approach, but I just, I didn't take it that way. I assume good intent. So, yeah. So let's just answer the questions real quick.
Should we answer the question?
Let's answer the questions. And I did in a much longer form, which you can go look at. But so what existing rights is a newly elected president taking away from you? This is the one question that I felt like, do you really not know? Come on. But also, honestly, I think there are a lot of people who don't know.
People do not know.
They do not know.
People do not know.
Yeah.
And everybody is in their own bubble of social media.
Yeah. Big time.
And there is a bubble that exists. Like,
Yeah.
there's a bubble that exists that all you see are, this is exactly the rights that are being taken away.
Yeah.
And it is logical, and it is clear, and it is factual, and it is obvious. And then there's another bubble that has just as much evidence that will show you that there are no rights that are being taken away. And it is logical, and it is factual, and it's evidence-based. And they live in different worlds, and they come to completely different conclusions, and they're both
very sure that they're right.
right. And to be honest, no one actually knows.
No.
Like, it's just there are two possible they're two possible futures.
And the future is probably somewhere in the middle of those two.
Maybe,
It depends
I mean, somewhere, but the future's
on a lot
unknown.
of factors. Yeah, it's very unknown. And there's a lot of factors that are going to play out over the next couple months, and we don't know what those are.
Yeah, but what's not unknown is the past.
Correct.
And there have been rights taken away.
Correct.
So
that's all we can point to. That we can point to very clearly, and we can draw those lines and say, this is what happened, and here was the result. So for that point, the last time that the president was in office, he did appoint 3 justices to the Supreme Court, and that did lead to the overturn of Roe. And that was part of a very strategic plan. Not even his plan per se. Like, it was one that he, came in the middle of, if you will. This has been something that's been going on for 30 plus years. Like, this is not new. I was marching in Washington in 1989. I mean, this is nothing new. And it's been on the roadmap and a specific goal of Mitch McConnell and folks like that for decades. So this was the final result of that. But the other underlying part of this, and I didn't get into this in my cast because it just would take too long, but I'll say it here, is that I was incredibly angry when things were overturned, not at the Republicans. They told you exactly what they were going to do for decades. Yeah. I was incredibly angry at the Democrats. And I had many discussions with friends about this, that I was not voting for President Biden, no matter what, et cetera, because of that in particular, because there were opportunities back in the 90s to codify these rights for women. But what happens in politics, and this happens on both sides and like in all different ways, and we see it with immigration right now, and we see it with abortion for years, is they don't fix problems on purpose because they want to be able to run on the issue. This is a very well-known thing in political circles, that if you solve the problem, you cannot run on the problem, and that becomes something that gets perpetuated over time. So we have that happening on both sides where things don't get done. So there's a lot of blame to go around, but this is what women are reacting to, because a lot of these abortion bans just came into effect fairly recently. Like Florida, for example, has a 6-week ban now. That just went into effect in July. Texas went into effect not long before that. And you start to see some of the stories that are coming out as what are the results of that, because it goes beyond like whether or not somebody wants to have an abortion. It impacts things like when a woman has a miscarriage. And I think this is where a lot of things there isn't full understanding. If you're not a woman who has had kids, has been through that process, has been through everything that goes with that, you may not be fully aware of everything that goes into that. Like, you just may know and understand all the things. There are so many women who have miscarriages. Like, there's a high percentage of women who have miscarriages when they're trying to get pregnant. And there are certain things that need to happen that after that back to ensure their health. And some of those things are no longer being permitted, or they're being delayed because you've got lawyers checking to see if a doctor can treat their patient who is clearly in distress. And things like that are where women are reacting and feeling very uncomfortable. And if I was a woman in my 20s and 30s right now, I would not be a happy camper. Like, I am in a very privileged position of I am done. So therefore, like, I could very easily just have voted with my bags and said, you're on your own, kids. But, this to me is also very important because I have been through some things. And I think that's why you saw older women reacting to that particular issue more so because they know, because they've been through it and they understand what the impact is. And I think the biggest concern I have right now for women in this country is going to be the lack of OBGYNs over the next couple decades, because they can't get the training. They don't want to take the risk to go into the profession. They'll pick a different profession instead, because there's now going to just be higher levels of potential liability where they can actually go to jail for doing their job and helping their patient. And that's not a good place to be. So that's all the impact. So but also I can completely understand if you have certain views on, abortion, that you're on that other side, and maybe you're not even aware of some of those implications, because we haven't seen them all play out yet. We're going to see them play out over the next decade. And it's just going to take a while for it to all sort of, I think, come to light. And hopefully that will lead to some reasonable adjustments of the law so that we don't have as great an impact on all of this. But there you go. So that's some of the reaction that you're seeing. Might be a little emotional because they're feeling it personally. And if you're not feeling it personally, you can understand why that reaction looks weird.
Totally. And that's like the fact that like we have the conversation happens about abortion, right? But that's not really what's at stake. It's not like most people don't have abortions. Like the majority of people don't need it, don't have it, whatever.
It's actually been going down for the past decades. Like the number that is necessary needed happens is way lower than it's ever been because of just better technology, better contraception, everything.
I was gonna say, aren't also young people having less sex because they're just staying
they're
home?
That
and like,
too, yeah. They're just like,
because they're like, and alcohol's they're not getting drunk and going out. They're just staying home and meeting
weird.
on the. I don't know. That's a separate.
Anyway, but also that's great. We're not saying that's a bad thing. It's just a little weird. If you're a Gen Xer, it seems weird, but good for you.
The point I wanted to make was like when we're talking about abortion, you're already at this extreme edges of these guardrails, and thank you, Naomi. Oh yeah, the kids are just smarter, and they had sex ed.
Yeah, they had sex ed. Yeah, we didn't. They didn't.
I did. I did. That was good.
It wasn't allowed.
But anyway, so extreme edges, right? So you have like two people who are like far, far apart, and it's like we're gonna come fight. So like you're fighting about abortion. There's so much behind it that people just don't know. And so I understand if you are a like Republican man, and you're like that, you don't understand the psychological and emotional importance to women.
Yeah,
totally. About choice and autonomy. I understand.
And on the other side of that, like there's only so much anger you can hold towards somebody who just doesn't know.
Yeah, totally. And my anger,
doesn't help.
Yeah. And my anger isn't like, oh, let me force this through. It's like, it's a failure on whoever's part to not educate then.
Yeah, totally. And it just is what it is. We're in a very weird time where information does not always filter. So you can't blame somebody who maybe just does not know the full ramifications of what's going on. Now, please take aside like anyone who's actually acting like a total asshole out there. Like that does not apply to them. Like no understanding needed. Those are different. The second question on here was why is it assumed?
We're still on this cast.
I'm just gonna go through them really quick. Why is it assumed? My comment back was I don't think it is assumed. But again, if you have that lived experience where you have been a victim of sexual assault or harassment, you might react differently to certain things.
But this is social media, right? Like someone out there is casting if you voted for Trump, you condone sexual assault.
Yeah.
Someone casted that, someone tweeted that, and therefore someone sees that, voted for Trump, doesn't think they do, and thinks all women feel that way about them. I mean, like this is the problem. Like
don't assume that everybody feels that way, but also there might be some who do. But again, it's the same kind of thing. Like yeah. And then the last thing was related to like, and you think, if we already talked about number 3,
Yeah.
assume good intent, especially within this space right now. I feel like a lot of people voted as a crypto single issue voter for a lot of folks that we know, and aren't really looking at the other issues, and it's because it's just not as important to them, which is perfectly fine. If you haven't lived that experience, like, of course, why would it be? So maybe can we all just try and get along? I don't know. I don't know if that's possible, but
I think we can.
we can try. We can try, I think.
Check out I casted a compassion meditation last night.
Oh,
Everybody
did
go check it out.
Oh, nice. Perfect. I think that would be useful
And
right now. Yeah.
yes.
But also, like,
Mm.
it's not yet the end of the world. Might be coming, but not quite yet. So maybe we just try to, take the temperature down a little bit, try to find the fun, stick with the memes, hang out in the memes
Okay.
channel more. Can you guys
And go
up your
build.
memes? Go up
Go
your
build.
memes.
Yeah,
Up your
actually
meme
make our
game,
job easy. Yeah, just
please.
more
Yeah.
memes. I guess I could
More
work on that
memes,
too.
funnier memes, and
Be
go build stuff.
funny
Yeah, go build stuff
and
so we have
build.
stuff to talk about. Yeah.
Yeah, go build. Make Farcaster great again. And I was talking to my friend who was very much very 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 happy about the election, and was telling me how much they love all of the liberal meltdowns. You've been seeing this,
Yeah.
like getting joy.
Yeah.
And all I said to him, and by the way, if you are loving this, it just means that you have felt unrepresented and that you don't belong, right?
Probably.
So,
Yeah.
it's like, so I just said to him, I said, look, and he thought he was trying to like, gotcha, like, haha,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I don't care. It's not that I don't care. It's just, you can't control the things you can't control. And there's,
Exactly.
and I just said, if you need to feel good, I was like, I just choose to believe in a world where we can make more and more people, right? Like kind of grow the pie, abundance mindset, positive sum.
Yeah.
And I said, if you need to, if seeing other people be really unhappy, like if that makes you feel better, that's on you.
Yeah.
And this is like the gloating. It's like I don't know what to say. And the whatever. So here's my compassion meditation. Can I read it to you?
Yes, please do.
And then, okay. So this is
and
what
I'll put it in the show notes, but I didn't have it ready to go.
The first thing you say to yourself is you close your eyes. You can all do this if you want. You can close your eyes and take a deep breath and say to yourself, may I be safe. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I live with ease. Then you take a few more deep breaths and you say, may you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. Thinking about someone, I forgot to tell you, you have to think about a loved one when you do that. Think about a loved one and say that. Then take a few more breaths and think about some random person you don't know and say the same thing. Like have that person in your head and say, may you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. And then think about someone you detest. It can be on the timeline. It can be someone you just got in a fight with. It can be someone who criticized you. It can be someone who like thinks you should be dead. And you say the same thing for that person. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. And
I love that.
Then you end with, may all beings live in safety. Be happy, be healthy, live with ease. Namaste.
Namaste. All right. We brought the spiritual side of Adrian today. I love it. Yeah. So, and with that, we're going to call it. And can we just go back to like normal stuff on Monday?
Like, 29 minutes of Farcaster news and culture.
Yes. And nothing else. Like, so if you're casting anything political in the next 72 hours, I'm not pulling it for a cast. So cast funny things. I need jokes. I need things that are fun. Or go build something really cool. Either of those things work. Yeah. And with that, I hope everyone has a happy Friday. We will see you on Monday. And you're welcome. And
we didn't really plan on talking about all of this. It was not a feelings episode. It's not a politics show. And I didn't know, I don't really know if people want to hear us talk about it, but I
wouldn't, but
I wouldn't either. But you know what? People are welcome to not
Yeah.
listen to.
I
so.
think it's at this moment in time, like we're gonna do this week only, and then we're done because we got to move on to like it just doesn't. If you keep like circling around it, it's just we're gonna sit in it, and we need to move forward into like
Yes.
the positives.
Next week we build.
Yeah, next week we build. So take your weekend off, cry in your Fruit Loops while you can, because they're gonna be pulled from the shelves, and then yeah, and then we move on. Oh, that was good. Yeah. All right. And with that, we'll see you all on Monday, everybody. Have a lovely weekend. Bye bye.